This short video is to explain to you how Bango collects payment information from payment providers such as mobile network operators and converts that into audiences that are ready to use for app developers to run user acquisition campaigns. The process by which this happens can be shown here. First of all, we start off with payment data, and Bango analyzes that to gain insights into understanding how the user is buying content, how much they're spending, how frequently they're doing that, and by gaining an insight into that, we can create an audience of users who are more likely to make a purchase. After these audiences are created, they're uploaded into popular marketing platforms that app developers use. Facebook is the most popular, but Google is also used. And then the app developer can run a user acquisition campaign to acquire those users. The work is mainly done by Bango in order to analyze the information, create the audiences, and make them accessible to an app developer. The mobile network operator or other payment provider merely has to supply payment information. And I'll explain what kind of payment information needs to be provided and how that can be done in a secure way. Once the audiences are ready on the marketing platform, the app developer can use them to run a user acquisition campaign. And I'm going to show you after I describe the process how these audiences are created inside the Facebook marketing platform using Facebook Business Manager. But first, let's have a look at how we identify users inside Facebook and Google as typical marketing platforms. The process starts with uploading an MSISDN. Now, the MSISDNs that are provided are provided in a hashed form, and I'll explain what hashing is in the next slide. The hashing mechanism uses a standard algorithm called SHA-256, and using that hashing algorithm, a irreversible code is generated, and that is used to match with users inside the Facebook platform, because Facebook also stores a hashed version of the MSISDN when the user registers for their service. And based on which users are matched, an audience can be identified. And so it's important to note here that a plain MSISDN is never uploaded. We always use a hashed MSISDN, and that way we avoid passing any private information. So what do we mean by hashing? Well, we take a number, in this case a phone number, an MSISDN. We apply an algorithm, which is a well-known algorithm used in internet security called SHA-256. That produces a long code, and that code is known as the hashed MSISDN. That hashed MSISDN cannot be reversed back to the original phone number, to the original MSISDN. And this is the way that we ensure that the information is kept private. And it's very important that this payment data that we generate is never shared beyond Bango, because Bango only ever uploads hashed MSISDNs, not the actual payment information. The audiences are created using standard algorithms, and the audience that we create is to identify which users on Facebook or Google match. So we are only ever identifying Facebook or Google users. We don't identify the user subscribed to the MNO service. And because we're identifying users inside Facebook or Google, only users in Facebook or Google get to see the adverts, and they have already opted into marketing. We make this audience available for a limited time, and then we remove access to it after the agreed period. And it's important to know that the app developer never owns the audience. They have access to it for a temporary amount of time. Bango can control its use, and the MNO can apply any limitations that they want onto it. And this is fully GDPR compliant. So that's the process. Now, I want to show you how this happens uh, in on the platform. What we have here is Facebook Business Manager. This is the platform that um, app developers and other businesses use to advertise to acquire users. And here, each one of these is an audience of users. And we know certain things about the audience. We know that this is the name, Australia Ready to Pay Users, April 19th. We know the type of audience, it's a custom audience. In other words, it's been uploaded. Size of the audience, how many users in that audience, and it's ready to use now. There's some other information about who created it and whether it's actually been shared with anyone. Now, if we wanted to create a new one of these, it's easy to do. And before I do that, I just want to show you what other information I can find out about these users. If I click on this particular audience here, you can see that I can find many things about this audience, such as when it was created, who it was created by, and whether I want to edit it and so on. But I cannot find any information about which users are on the system. I can't identify which Facebook users. I certainly can't identify who the original hashed MSISDNs were part of. And so this is all completely kept away from the app developer who's accessing this audience. So we can't tell anything about this audience apart from this is what the name is and how many people are within there and when it was created. Now, if I want to create one of these audiences, it's very simple. If I go inside Facebook Business Manager and select Custom Audience, that's how we start the process. I want to create this from a customer file, and the file that I'm going to use is going to contain a list of hashed MSISDNs, and I'm not going to include the LTV, which is the lifetime value of the user. This is a value that's measured of how much a user can be monetized, how much money can be made from the user over the space of 90 days. I don't have that information. What I do have, I can quickly show you. This is the file I'm going to use to upload. As you can see, these are all hashed MSISDNs. I do not know what the phone number is. All I know is that it's a list of hashed MSISDNs, and this list has been created after Bango has applied some analysis to gain some insight into understanding which users are the best ones to target to convert to paying users. And so this is a very valuable list. I don't know anything about the individual users. But what I am going to do is I'm going to upload this list into the Facebook platform to identify Facebook users. So I'll choose this option here, which is use a file that doesn't include LTV. And then I will choose, I will tell it where I got it from. So I need to say that I got it from a partner, an agency, or a data provider. I need to choose the file. So in this case, it's the test audience here. And I can name the audience whatever I want there. And then once I've done that, I can click next. And it will show me a preview of what's going to be uploaded. I can say what I want to upload. In this particular case, these are all phone numbers, hashed versions of the phone number. Once I choose that, then I can click upload and create. And at that point, it will upload that list and match each of those with a Facebook user. And that process may take a few minutes, so I'm not going to run through that now. But here's some that are already done from before. And so if I decide that I would like to choose, that I would like to share Indonesia frequent spenders with an app developer, it's a very easy process for me to do. I go and select the audience, and then I click share. And when I click share, it says, who am I going to share it with? I'm going to share it with another business, which is, and here, in this case, is the app developer. And Here I enter the ID of the app developer, the Facebook ID of the app developer, and at that point I can click share and it will share it with that user. And that's how you go about sharing audiences with an app developer in a secure way, in a way that reveals no information about the individual users, and in a way that is done in a confidential manner that is compliant